Alright, drop ones in the chat if you can see me and hear me. We just had to reset the live. I don't know what happened. I think I lost internet for a second there, which I don't really know why that happened, but we stream from me to Rumble Studio to all of you guys, and Rumble Studio started having an aneurysm because that happened. So hopefully it don't happen again. Okay, let's check the chats and then we will move forward. Alright, there we go. Reading through. Russell, if you get finned by a catfish, you can rub some slime from the catfish belly and you'll be good. Is there science backing that up, Russell, or what? Is that just how people get down? Is that how catfish people do it? Shroomish, you pissed off Rumble Rick for the final time. I guess. Chat's disabled. What? What the hell is this? Maybe I really did piss off Rumble Rick for the last time. It just took my chat away over on Rumble. Where are we at? Oh, it started a whole nother live. Holy shit, Rumble Studio. Super annoying. Okay, I guess we're good now. Let's just do this. What's up, Rotella? Happy freedom to you. Weird. Weird. Okay. I did not realize Rumble Studio did that. Everybody's still over on the other live. Today's going to be one of those days. I was saying I have like the worst headache ever, and now this is happening. Does it think I'm running 2 lives at once? Oh no, it just totally smoked my chat. Okay. That's the worst experience I've had on Rumble. Interesting. Let's make this private. I guess. And we'll let that be. Interesting. What's up, Viola? Happy freedom to you. What's up, C1? What's up, Crazy Time? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom. Robin Hood, happy freedom. Internet's being weird today, I guess. What's up, MW? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Billy? Happy freedom. All right, we'll just go ahead and move forward here. I don't know. Whatever's whatever. Anyways, next up, like I said, former Voice of America employee indicted for threatening Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, we're not going to play this whole video. It's got to judge whatever her name is. And she just be talking for the sake of talking. So, we're going to listen to about just less than 4 minutes of this. But either way, this idiot was making direct threats against Marjorie Taylor Greene. And he just thought that was going to be okay. Hopefully, they actually hold him accountable. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube. And let's get into this.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we are taking a stand against those individuals who seek to threaten and intimidate public officials. This morning, the United States Capitol Police executed an arrest warrant resulting in the arrest of an individual by the name of Seth Jason, who is 64 years old. He resides in Maryland. And they also seized a laptop, several telephones, an iPad, as well as thumb drives. Now, Jason is charged with threatening to murder Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, as well as members of her family. The threats were repeatedly and continuously made from October of 2023 through the end of January this year. Now, the quotes included statements like, "I'm looking forward to your book signing. We are all armed and ready to take care of you. We're coming after you and your staff, and we are locked and loaded. We're going to take you all out. We've got our AK-47s. You're going to get one between the eyes. Bam, bam, bam. Also threatened were all of the staff at the Congresswoman's office, as well as the staff members' families. Now, this case is even more egregious because the individual, Seth Jason, is a rogue former full-time federal government employee at Voice of America. And he actually used phones located in the control rooms where broadcasters were reporting. And Voice of America, by the way, which is an organization that reaches millions around the world and apparently communicates in 49 different languages. Now, through the leadership of President Trump, this sprawling federal bureaucracy is being held accountable, including through the work of Kari Lake, who is senior advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media, which oversees Voice of America. Now, my office is going to continue to hold government employees to the highest standards, and make no mistake, this defendant here is also, disappointingly, a reserve officer with the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Now, let me just talk about the effects of this kind of thing. No one should have to live their life looking over their shoulder every day and wondering if those threats are about to be fulfilled and about to come true. And the threat to murder, have your family murdered as well as yourself, is debilitating for a lot of people. And they create a climate of fear, as well as disrupting one's ability to actually perform their duties. So my message today should be loud and clear. This behavior is a crime. You threaten a public official, and you'll face the full force of the law crushing down on you. There will be no mercy and no excuses. And I would like to thank...
All right. So some dumbass out there wants to threaten Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like I said, he wasn't kind of being offset about it. He was directly threatening her, and had been for years, and nobody's doing anything about it. It makes me think about all the liberals and stuff that were all celebrating when President Trump got shot in the ear. Also the people that were calling for more action out of Luigi Mangione, right? The person that supposedly assassinated the CEO of the health insurance firm and all of that. These lefties are constantly calling for violence and death and making direct threats against President Trump and Elon Musk and all these, and nothing ever seems to happen. They're just like allowed to do that, which will encourage them to continue to do it. That's how criminals are. They try to cross the line. They do successfully. They'll continue to cross the line, but every time they do, they'll do it worse and worse and worse until they get caught. But if you got people that aren't holding anyone accountable, they're just going to keep doing it. That's how it goes. So hopefully they actually do something. This guy, he's just indicted right now. We'll see if they actually convict him of something. Either way, next up, DNA experts are not making a super baby, says this professor. Apparently there's some new breakthrough where if you have two individuals trying to have a kid, but one of the individuals has some sort of disease, I'm sure it's specific. I'm sure it's not as vague as I'm making it sound. Apparently you can take a third person and switch out some of the DNA and create a healthy baby, which is kind of mad science stuff. And they don't really provide all the details, but either way, it's very interesting. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about this idiot threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene. Russell, people are used to getting away with shit. Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. They need to change that. Klaus Daniels was just having a nightmare. He was over here whimpering during that video. Zero64, what a dumbass. He didn't get wiser as he got older. Yeah. What's up, Hustle? Happy Freedom. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Ramsey? Happy freedom. Ramsey, I believe the total minimum sentence was 23 years and the maximum was 35 years. Well, we'll see how it goes, because people have really good luck over the last couple of years, and they go to court and then they get let go. And they don't get hardly any time, if they get any time at all. Told to care, lock him up. Absolutely. Using an electronic device to threaten somebody is a felony. So like if you text somebody and you tell them you're going to do something to them, it's a felony. If you say it face to face and somebody witnesses it, I want to say it's like a high misdemeanor, but something about using an electronic device to commit the crime turns it into a felony. What's up, CLB? Happy freedom. What's up, Appeal to Heaven? Happy freedom to you. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Hustle. We're live every day except for Sunday. What's up, Green Falcon? Happy freedom if I can get you already. What's up, 1776? Happy freedom to you. Bill Clay, MTG knows how to use a gun. Yeah, at least we know that she's not walking around being a victim. I'm sure it's no good to be threatened, but just means that you got even more of a reason to carry that tool with you. What's up, Godspeed? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Plastic Quack? What's up, Sly Dog? Major, she's swole too. Yeah, she's always posting videos lifting weights. Told to care the derangement is real. Yeah, they need a cure for that TDS. What's up, Stern? Happy freedom? No, we had an issue and we had to reset the live, and I don't think I can recreate any of that. I'd rather not. What's up, Sean? Happy freedom? You can't see the video over on YouTube? I don't know. I can see it. It's a Parabellum. Happy freedom. Robin Hood terroristic threats. Did they say that's what they were charging him with? I didn't hear exactly what they were going to charge him with, but they could probably go that route. Robin Hood. Super Baby, well, I'm sure that'll go straight to Netflix. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like gene splicing, sort of. What I think is really weird, and they don't talk about it, is would the baby match the DNA of all three people? But we'll bring it up after the video. Joel's Skulls. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble today. Skulls. She sounded like Joanne Rivers Afterlife. I mean, and you only saw half the video. I cut it off halfway through because she just gets redundant and saying the same thing over and over again. Plus, they do a lot of thank yous to random people that aren't on the screen and all this other stuff. And so, I don't know. I have enough of her voice. What's up, Turbo? Happy freedom. Totally care. Saw a protester sign saying, let the cholesterol do its job. Disgusting. Yeah, the protesters, stinking ass dumb people in the streets. Either way, moving forward here, like I said, DNA expert is not making Super Baby, this professor says. They're having some sort of scientific breakthrough. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this pulled up. Now, they do give quite a bit of details and they do all right at explaining what's going on here. But there's a few details they leave out and it makes me really curious. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommentTube and let's get into this.
Talk about a medical milestone in Britain. 8 healthy babies born with the help of an experimental technique that uses DNA from 3 people to help mothers avoid passing devastating rare diseases onto their children. This world-first trial of the new IVF technique focused on mothers with mutations in their mitochondrial DNA. They used a donor for that small percentage of genetic code, along with the mother's egg and the father's sperm, so that babies would be born without the disease. babies. For more, I'm now joined by Dr. Arthur Kaplan, professor of bioethics at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Doctor, thanks for taking the time this morning. I mean, this is pretty remarkable. How revolutionary is this breakthrough in your eyes?
Oh, it's revolutionary, Marky. It's an amazing feat to defeat a terrible disease. Babies born with these mitochondria, which you can think of as little battery packs. They drive the energy, produce the energy that lets cells grow and divide. If they're not working right, you get children who die or who have very short lives. So being able to step in and get this solved using this technique is a real breakthrough.
Yeah, and a game changer, and gives so much peace of mind to these couples as well. Now, I have so many questions about this. I mean, you know, in this process, a female donor is used alongside the parents. How much DNA from the donor ends up in the child? And does that affect the way that they look at all?
Yeah. So think of your cells or an embryo, either one, as having a donut hole. And all the DNA that makes us who we are is inside that hole. That's called the nucleus. A little teeny bit of DNA is outside that hole. It's in the mom, and that's the mitochondria. That's the battery pack. The genes that make us who we are all inside that nucleus. I'm not so moved by these descriptions of the three-parent baby. It's a little bit like saying, I have a car, the battery failed, I'm going to take a battery from somebody else or buy one and put it in. That doesn't make the place that sold me the battery the car owner. It's, I'll say 99.999% of who we are in terms of heredity comes from that nucleus. The little battery pack that is being transplanted when you do the procedure, it doesn't really affect your traits or your behavior or how you look or what your physical appearance is. It literally is just the energy pack.
Okay, good to know, because I was curious about that the moment that I read this story. This is obviously being touted as a success. What risks do you see associated with this?
Well, it is true that we don't really know if the batteries that are being activated by this transplant procedure are going to give the kid an entirely healthy life. So there's some risk. Maybe they wear out, don't work as well. No reason to really worry about that, but you have to see, you have to watch. Some people say, look, this is starting down the road toward engineering babies.
Right.
And that raises the specter of things like engineering for a perfect baby or a better baby. But I'm going to say no. This isn't that. This is fixing a disease. It's not trying to make a super baby or a perfect baby. It's taking a bad disease, doing a minor genetic transplant and fixing it. So I support this. By the way, not legal in the U.S. yet.
So speaking of that, what comes next? When do we see this happen more widespread and maybe even here at home?
Congress, a long time ago, maybe 20 years, passed a prohibition on moving any DNA that might be inherited. And if you get these battery packs that I keep talking about in these kids, they will pass them on to their kids. The line we drew was to say, no, nothing can be done that might be inherited. It's the wrong line. You want to be able to fix diseases. You want to be able to prevent child deaths. We need to revisit that in this country. And then there's about 4,000 kids a year with these diseases. Then we would see it much more. But we've got to change our law here.
Yeah, some people see it as a slippery slope. Some see it as a beautiful medical breakthrough. And no matter which side you're on, it's just fascinating all around. Dr. Arthur Kaplan, thank you for your time and expertise, sir. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you for...
Okay. Now the video is quiet, so I had to turn everything up. Just give me a second here. Like I said, mad scientist stuff going on. I mean, they say it's a medical breakthrough and that this is some real great thing, but there's like kind of holes in the story. Like they don't tell you, will the baby, like its DNA match all three adults? Or is it really going to be just the mom and the dad? He kind of alluded to that. He said, well, because we're switching out stuff that's outside the nucleus and the stuff inside the nucleus is what determines your traits as a person, they're not affecting that. So you should still be whoever you're expected to be based on mom and dad. But if you're inserting a third party's DNA and that's going to develop into a human being, how are you not going to match all 3 people? And that's weird. Like that's really weird. And they were saying on the screen, the banner said something like a 3-parent baby or something like that. That's weird stuff. I don't know how they could insert DNA from a third person and not have a baby that matches the DNA. That just doesn't make any sense. The other thing is I don't really understand how they apply it. They show you on the screen a little bubble of DNA, and they show you how they're going to, put new batteries in it, like they were saying in the analogy. You do that inside mom? You do that in a tray and then inject mom? Like, where does that take place? Where do they do that at? When they're doing the deal, do they change the tire on the car, or they take the tire off the car? Like, they don't really explain that. But they do say that it's illegal in America, and you can't do that stuff here. So probably up to no good is what it really sounds like. And then they try to emphasize, no, we're not making super babies. Well, we weren't really thinking about that until you brought it up. So they're out here, makeshifting their own humans, I guess. That's fun. Kind of worrisome. And that language was something else. If it was taken out of context, they were talking about inserting DNA in holes and all kinds of other stuff. That was rough. That was a conversation you don't want to walk in on. Next up, investigator in paranormal research from Connecticut kicks the bucket. And this guy's been touring around with the Annabelle doll that I guess inspired the movies The Conjuring. And he kicked the bucket, and they don't really know why. And so some people think it was just a coincidence, and others think the Annabelle doll got him. So I don't know. It was like a Chucky doll situation. Either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about super babies. Zero designer babies? Yeah. I just wonder how they create the babies, because if these are like lab-grown babies, what are they doing to the babies? Like that's like same thing with AI. Everybody's like, oh, AI is really great. Did you hear it could generate images? They're like, yeah. And they're like, what are pedophiles going to do with AI that creates images? And everyone's like, oh no. Like, yeah, that's a problem. Like, that's a fucking problem. Russell, luckily my mom is not a criminal. She has no fingerprints. Really? Why does your mom not have fingerprints? The other thing is TV makes us think of that stuff. As somebody that's been involved in crime and had to pay the price for it, they don't do forensics on ammo. They don't look for fingerprints. They don't do any of that shit. That shit's just on TV. If your crime is big enough, they might do it. But for most crimes, no. They barely lift a finger. If they told the truth about how many phone calls of crime they got versus how many times they actually solved the case, people would lose all faith in police. Police do not try very hard. But they put out a lot of cop shows, so you think they try really hard. So when you're off in the world, you think like all this badass cop core shit is going on. It's not. It's fucking not. Like, I don't know. There's only so much I can say, but it's not. Fingerprints is, I don't know. You gotta be pulling heists. You gotta be doing crazy stuff for your fingerprints to matter. Zero, they were showing fertilized eggs, so probably an IVF facility. Yeah. Russell, she washed too many dishes? She washed her fingerprints away? I've never heard of that before. Russell, Jurassic Park Human Edition. That's an interesting way to put it. Zero, oh, he's lying. They don't have an adult experimental baby yet. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. They seem so sure of themselves, but they don't have teenagers walking around. They don't have adults walking around. So how do they know that it's foolproof? How do they know that the child won't develop the disease as it gets older or have different problems? I mean, you're taking spare parts from a third party. It's surprising that it works at all, because you would think with the way your body works that you would start fighting off the foreign add-on that was just put inside the cell, but I don't know. Appeal to Heaven did a DJI simulator today with a drone. It's really cool. A simulator? That's cool. I have a DJI gimbal, and WMM used to fly DJI drones, but I've never heard of a DJI simulator. What's up, Ramsey? Happy Freedom, if I can get you already. Ramsey, I threw tires at a Cooper tire plant and didn't have fingerprints for a couple of years after. Yeah. When I used to skateboard, which was a long time ago, I never had fingerprints on a couple of my fingers just from like constantly grabbing the skateboard and having the grip tape ripping my fingerprints off. What's up, Aco? Happy Freedom. CLB cannot be good. No. Everything we make is like bad. So, you know, there's no reason we should be playing God. I just feel we just taint everything. You know, anytime we interfere with something that happens naturally, we create like a dumber, nastier, toxic version of that, you know. Turbo, can't get your fingerprints if you cut all your fingertips off. I mean, you're not wrong. What's up, Dutton? Happy Freedom to you. Bill Clay, they're like the synths in the Fallout. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. They're creating synths. Pumpkin, I don't like this. Yeah, no, it seems very much like they're trying to play God. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Making squiggly little troopers from skin cells? I've never heard of that. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Happy Freedom. What is your name? Kara? Is your name Kara? We'll go with Kara until you correct me. Happy Freedom to you. MU seems sus, not fascinated. Yeah, well, I mean, they basically said that it's human experimentation. Because they said all this stuff, which involves us, and then they were like, it's not legal in the U.S. Like, oh, okay, this is like kids in cages kind of stuff, right? You got people locked away? You have volunteers, do you? Okay. Crazy Times test tube babies. That's, I mean, I'm just saying. It sounds suspicious. So Brittany, Happy Freedom. Between the super babies and the cloud seeding, definitely shouldn't play God. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get a blue banner on my YouTube video now that I've read that out loud, but you're right. Proud Patriot Girl, your birthday's on Sunday? You have a weekend away planned? That's awesome. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We're not going to be live on Sunday, so you got to remind me on Monday so we can say happy birthday to you. God rides a Harley. I was a super baby. I believe you. What's up, Corey Luca? Happy Freedom. What's up, Manuel? Happy Freedom to you. Robin. Oh man, I missed the Jurassic Park movies. Didn't they just come out with a new Jurassic Park movie? Isn't there like 6 of them now? They're like making Jurassic Park movies like the way the Fast and Furious is. I've seen the first 3 or something like that, but now I think they're making like a Jurassic World series. I don't know. I don't watch any new movies. All the new ones are just completely injected with political messages, and I don't like feeling like I'm at work when I'm not at work. It's just the way I am. Alright, hooligans, we're going to move forward here. Are they going to mow the lawn for 16 hours outside or what? It's already been 3 hours. The yard's not that fucking big. Anyways. Like I said, investigator in paranormal research from Connecticut kicks the bucket. Now, like I've been telling you guys, this guy was touring around with the Annabelle doll that inspired the Conjuring movies. And so some people think the Annabelle doll got him, and other people think it's just a coincidence. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube, and let's get into this.
Normal investigator's death has grabbed headlines in recent days.
Dan Rivera is from Bridgeport. He's a senior lead investigator for the Connecticut-based New England Society of Physics Research, and he died unexpectedly on Sunday.
Tonight, your reporter Owen Kingsley is in Monroe after trying to track down his colleagues and has more on the investigation into his sudden death.
Dan Rivera was on tour with the infamous doll Annabelle, who the New England Society of Physics Research describes as demonically possessed. This is the site in Monroe of their former museum. Since it closed, they've been traveling around the country. On Sunday, Rivera was found dead inside of his Pennsylvania hotel room after reportedly feeling ill. Nothing unusual or suspicious was found, and the cause of his death has not yet been released. Jason Hawes of the show Ghost Hunters posted on social media criticizing those who claim the allegedly cursed doll was connected to his sudden death. We worked Thursday trying to track down some of his colleagues. Dan Rivera and co-director Tony Sparrow were guests on Great Day, Connecticut 2 years ago. Dan was asked about his paranormal investigations and how he tries to help people all around the world.
Just recently, I had somebody in Liverpool email me that they were dealing with something. That was an ex-military person, and he was dealing with attachments.
The organization said in part on Rivera's death, quote, "We understand that Dan's work inspired fascination and curiosity for many. But above all, he was a father, devoted husband, and loyal friend." His son David started a GoFundMe page. A link to it can be found on our website, WFSB.com. The reporter in Monroe, Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay. So I did Google some stuff about that and try to figure out if they've came up with a conclusion about his death. They haven't yet. They have ruled that he died from natural causes, but they haven't released information saying specifically what those causes were. Like, did he have a heart attack or whatever? It says the Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll known for its alleged supernatural reputation, which inspired the Conjuring horror film franchise. That's the doll he was taking on tour when he just randomly kicked the bucket. Also, there was details that the Annabelle doll was not present during his death while he died inside the hotel room or whatever, but a lot of people are finding this really suspicious. Next up, we got our midlife break. It's our funny video halfway through. It's titled "When You've Had Enough of Today." And then getting back into the news, the next video is stronger, taller secondary border wall going up along busy smuggling corridor. They're adding 27 miles of replacement wall. It's not going to extend the wall, but it replaces this mesh wall that exists where border crossers are cutting through the wall with these torches to get through, and they have to keep patching them and all this stuff. So they're going to put up the border wall that we're all used to looking at. Those pieces of wall are not as easy to cut through. So they're going to replace 27 miles of the border wall. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about this individual that kicked the bucket while touring with the Annabelle doll. Hair Juicer, been having more creepy stuff at my house. Are you going to be in the voice chat later? We got the voice chat later today. We were talking about it during your absence. The handprints on the wall and stuff. Hair Juicer's got paranormal activity at his house. Zero, it's about the results of being able to pick your baby's features, etc. It's very... You must be responding to somebody. I don't know what you're saying. Oh, you're describing the movie? Oh, I see. No, I've never heard of that. Should I add it to the wish list? What is it called? Gattaca? What are you smiling at? See you smiling in your sleep. Oh, he's sleep. Look at his little legger. he's sleeping for real. Knocked out. I don't know how I can sleep with the lawnmower driving back and forth. What's up, Satan's Mechanic? Happy freedom to you. 8-Co had chopped his wiener off. I was afraid of that. Kirkis left her in a hot car, I guess. So she retaliated. That's what happened. Bill Clay, Annabelle was possessed by Charles Lee Ray. I don't know who that is. It sounds like how the Chucky doll was made. So relax. Happy freedom. Oh, thank you for letting me know, MU. Weird. Let me see what I can do about that. Why do I not know how to use this all of a sudden? Like, straight brain dead for a moment there. Does that break it? Alright, type a whole bunch of shit in the chat so we can see if we fix the chat or not. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it'll start working again here in a second. I don't know. We'll mess with it in a moment. Thank you for letting me know, MU. I didn't realize. Pumpkin. Oh no, not Annabelle. I actually don't know anything about the Annabelle doll other than what I had researched. Appeal to having the Annabelle doll reached into his heart and pulled it out in ghost form. Is that what happened? Told to care the reporter had moobs. He was struggling. He was like, he looked like Shane Gillis's like cousin a little bit. He looked a little like Shane Gillis, but he was almost as wide as he was tall. MU, did he get the jab? Yeah, see, they're not going to release that kind of info. What's up, Fresca Bean? Happy Freedom. Fresca Bean, Laura Loomer's title on her live stream said Microsoft allowed China to have access to the DoD cyber systems. I wonder how Microsoft would be able to allow that unless it was already encoded in the software. That's interesting. I'll have to look into it. Thank you for letting me know, Fresca Bean. Totally care it's not nice to experiment with humans. I agree. I think there's consequences to it. MU, Kevin noticed it first. Well, I appreciate you guys letting me know. I didn't realize it was frozen on the screen. It seems to be working again. What's up, Hooligans Island? Happy Freedom to you. Plastic Quack, I got Polaroid pictures of ghosts in my backyard on my birthday. They came to party. Polaroid is the way to go if you want to try and catch them. It prints it on the film. I've never tried to capture ghosts on camera before. Patriot Dad, Breakfast Club is your favorite movie? I haven't seen Breakfast Club in so long. What's up, Lone Wolf? Happy Freedom. Ramsey, Microsoft subbed out on government contracts in China. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It's just, is there going to be consequences to it? Russell Klutz is working so hard. He is. He's tired. Yes, next they were talking about the chat on the screen. What's up, J Drob? Happy Freedom to you. YouTube didn't send you a notification. Join Discord, that way you can get notified every time we go live. Because, yeah, the notifications on the platform suck. What's up, Larry? Happy Freedom. What's up, Mike Ingle? Happy Freedom to you. The story of the doll is spooky. Has to be kept in a glass container that was blessed and should never be opened. So was it in the glass container, like sitting in his car? I haven't seen anything. They just keep saying he was on tour with the doll, but I haven't actually seen him in possession of the doll. I haven't seen any video or images of it. Now I'm hearing people yelling at each other outside. I'm trying to work. Anyways, moving forward here, like I said, we got our midlife break, and next up in the news, stronger, taller secondary border wall going up along busy smuggling corridor. And like I said, they're replacing the wall. They're not adding to the wall. They're putting a brand new wall up, one that's better. Funny stuff I was going to say, but we'll leave that for tomorrow. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you, Hooligans, if you'd like to become official Hooligans and join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble Hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, screaming goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. All right, let's get this pulled up really quick. This is our mid-live break. Oh, yes, I remember now. I always forget what the funny videos are. It's part of the fun. This is titled, When You've Had Enough of Today.
No, I have enough shit to take care of. I don't need you to. Get out of my garage!
Well, damn. All right, getting back into the news here. This is titled, Stronger, Taller Secondary Border Wall Going Up Along Busy Smuggling Corridor. Let's get this rolling. Come on, do the thing. Goofy ass YouTube. There we go. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
We've got brand new video of a major construction project happening right now at the border. This spot has been a hotbed for drug and human smuggling, and crews are now building 27 new miles of wall to block the cartels. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the new barriers are just one part of a bigger push to tighten border security, with fast-tracked permits and additional wall sections also planned for Texas. News Nation's Jorge Ventura is in San Antonio for us this morning with a closer look at this construction. Good morning, Jorge.
Good morning, Marty. Yeah, we are learning that the Trump administration in southern New Mexico in a smuggling corridor will be building 6 miles of new border wall in that area. It's also near the Santa Teresa port of entry. New video from our Nexstar affiliate Border Report showing excavators digging those trenches as well as cranes placing the new 30-foot steel bollards along that smuggling corridor. It's also an area that has seen an uptick of migrants coming to extreme temperatures. Now, this area of the border, criminal smugglers are known and cartel associates for using bolt cutters, grinders, and torches to breach the barrier of border wall. This area on the Mexican side is controlled by the La Línea cartel, who are known for using blow torches to cut through the steel mesh of border wall, creating between 2 to 3 foot openings to send migrants right through. Smugglers often actually arrive in pickup trucks with welding equipment, cut that mesh and put it back in place and come back once they round up migrants from safe houses on the Mexican side in Juarez. This problem became so widespread for U.S. Border Patrol agents that it did prompt U.S. Customs and Border Protection to launch the 2021 Fence Cutter Initiative, which does prioritize the prosecution of individuals on the Mexican side and the U.S. side breaching that area of the border. Now, this new 6 miles of border wall will have 6-inch hollowed square bollards, which are very difficult to pierce according to U.S. Customs and Protection and are partially filled with concrete. Now, when it comes to border wall, Secretary Noem said during the Hills Nation Summit that the Trump administration is working to get surveillance technology on the wall to then reduce that manpower on the ground.
The one thing that we didn't do the first term is the structure of the wall was built. About 700 plus, almost 800 miles of structure was built, but they never did get the chance to put in the technology around it. The surveillance equipment, what we needed for cameras in order to really secure it. So we do need to finish that type of investment around the wall that was already built and then finish the rest of the structure and do what we can, so that my goal every day is not just to go out and put more officers and more CBP guys on the border. We should be, using the latest technology to fight off cartels and threats that we have.
Now, that new border wall also coming as the Trump administration did see a record low apprehensions for the month of June on the southwest border, finishing around just 6,000 apprehensions, Marty.
I talked to a sheriff this week who said drones is the next necessary step he'd like to see to improve security and add that technology to the border and that construction. Jorge, thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, dang, I had the beats playing the whole time. I didn't realize that. My bad. Either way, like I said, installing 27 miles of new border wall to replace old border wall. It's not extending on, it's replacing it. Because as you could see through the mesh wall, they were just cutting that shit out. This is no big deal. So they're going to put that new wall there. In the comments, some people were pissed. They were like, oh, you're just wasting our tax dollars building more of the same wall and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. People are going to bitch no matter what you do. Either way, they were talking about adding surveillance to the wall, which makes a lot of sense. Instead of having people on the ground looking for border crossers and stuff, having cameras up there would make things a lot easier, because then you could just have checkpoints where there's border guards and they're just monitoring the setup, right? And something gets signaled, well, they can hop in the truck and drive down to wherever it got signaled at, or where the border crossers appeared on camera or whatever. Plus, they're talking about having drones and stuff there, and we saw for President Trump's birthday, they were showing military personnel that had drones and all that kind of stuff. I think Pete Hegseth put out a video as well that was showing individuals operating drones and stuff like that, and was saying that we're going to make it more of a focus to utilize that kind of technology. So either way, making the border that much more safer. Next up, President Trump signs first major federal cryptocurrency bill into law. This happened earlier today. I didn't realize it was going to happen. I wasn't here. I had to run to the post office, do a bunch of other stuff. But either way, we're going to watch that, and they're also going to give us some details about this crypto bill that he signed. Apparently, it's going to, within the next 6 months, they're going to create regulations for cryptocurrency. So crypto is not going to be as free as it is right now, and I'm not sure what to think about all of that. But at the same time as them regulating it, they're making claims it's going to make it more mainstream. People are going to trust it more, which means more people are going to invest in it. So if you got crypto right now, there's a good chance that you might be at a point where we're about to see a boom, which is really interesting. Now, of course, that's not financial advice. I can't give you guys financial advice. It's just my thoughts out loud. Either way, so what's coming up next? First, we're going to hop in the chat, see what your hooligans think about them reinforcing the border. Russell, they need to have a seismograph, but they don't. Been saying that for years, to detect border crossers. Russell, hell yeah, build that wall. That's right. Appeal to Heaven bought another XRP. See, I don't have any XRP. I don't have hardly anything. I was donated some stuff during the Canadian convoy. Not a whole lot, but that's all the little bit I got. And I've just been kind of sitting there, letting it do whatever it's going to do. Plastic crate by the dip. Pumpkin, build it high, boys. Yep. I wonder how long it's going to take for them to build the 27 miles. Shroom and shit's going to get more expensive. Yeah. Nothing's getting cheaper. I know that. Hooligans Island, add a moat with gators. That's right. Fresca Bean, definitely a bird with an attitude. The bird was shocked. The bird didn't know what to think. Pumpkin, it was bird abuse? I don't know. I don't think she hurt the bird. I don't think so. I mean, I know birds got hollow bones or whatever. I don't think she hurt the bird. The bird was shocked, though. You see the way he looked at her? He was like, unhand me, woman. Bill Clay, was that the congresswoman with purple hair? I think you're right. I'm pretty sure that's who that was. I can't ever think of what that woman's name is. She's awful, though. I guess she was walking a catwalk at some designer event or something. I don't know. She's like Cruella DeVille. That's exactly who she reminds me of. She's just like gangly and just gross. She's just grody. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom to you. Done. Regulation on crypto is bad news right now with the crackdown Visa and MasterCard just did on gaming. Oh, I don't know anything about the crackdown with gaming, but I think it's going to affect the day trading with crypto, because right now you can day trade. There's no limitations on it. In the stock market, they have limitations on it. If you just go in there and start day trading, you could potentially break the law, and you could be facing big time for that. Even if you don't make hardly any money doing it. They just don't want you to be able to make money with the stock market the way that people were able to make the money in like the 70s and 80s and stuff. Play the game and make a whole bunch of money. If you do that, they put regulations in so you can't do that. But the stuff they were doing back then, you can currently do it with crypto. It's just most people are so scared of crypto that they're not even there to stare it in the face to realize that you can play the game just the same as how they did in the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, where people were making big bucks. But with these regulations coming, there's a chance that that's going to go away, which means that that window of opportunity is going to go away. But like I said, there's still that possibility that a lot more people are going to come to crypto. And so if you got stuff invested, then maybe that'll benefit you, potentially. Pumpkin, they will regulate crypto sooner or later. Better that Trump is involved. Well, and Trump may not be the only person to do it. He's just the first one to do it. With more time will come more regulations, I'm sure. Aiko, don't buy the top. Yep, that's sounds like good advice. Shroomish, it's down, I bet, because people are selling off in order to buy in a few months at a cheaper price before it has a bump. I think yesterday probably would have been a good time to buy, because today when it was on live TV across the nation that, hey, President Trump's back in crypto and you should too, that probably caused a boost. I haven't looked at it. I don't look at that stuff. My grandpa always played the long game, and it make you crazy. It's like talking about what you would do if you'd hit the lottery, right? You could sit there and have that conversation for hours. Watching investments is like that. If you sit there and watch it every day, like, oh my God, I need to get rich today, it'd make you crazy. And my grandpa just played the long game. He invested in the stock market because there wasn't crypto back then, and just sat on it and just added money. And then after 20, 30 years, he had tons. When he kicked the bucket, he had $2 million in investments. And he wasn't wealthy. He had a 7th grade education and all this other stuff. And he just was patient and just thought a lot about how he spent his money and saved his money and stuff. And he did very well for himself. You couldn't tell. He drove a regular vehicle, had regular houses, didn't have any special gadgets or anything like that. Just had everything he liked and everything he needed, and more money than everybody I know in the bank. And that was it. And I was the only person who knew, because he was very private about his stuff, and me and my grandpa hung out all the time. And so that's the only reason I know. But I take everything he told me over decades about money and stuff like that, and I'm watching this stuff happen with crypto, and I just think it's interesting. Yeah, Zero, it's a good idea. You can get crypto with all kinds of stuff now. I think even PayPal does crypto. Dog, you can day trade stocks if you qualify. $30,000 minimum in your account. See, I thought it was $20,000 or something like that, but yeah. But that's what I mean. That's the regulation, though. You used to be able to just day trade if you had money to invest, but now you got to have apparently $30,000 in your portfolio if you're going to day trade. If you ain't got $30,000, not just in the bank, but uploaded to your portfolio, you're not even eligible to day trade. And that's what I mean. Like, you ain't got to do that with crypto. You don't have to have a minimum. You can just day trade with pennies if you want to, if you can find, I can't think of what it's called, transaction fees that are low enough. And they're forcing Steam to remove certain adult-oriented games because it goes against their terms. Payment processors shouldn't have that ability. It's nasty. It is nasty games, but any censorship is bad. Yeah, I agree. That's interesting. I didn't know that happened. What's up, Dennis? Happy Freedom. Altcoins have bumped for 2 weeks till today. Oh, interesting. I'll look at this stuff later on today. I didn't think about it until we were just sitting here talking about it. Appeal to Evan started with $10 on Coinbase, up to $75 right now. Yep. It's that easy. Snooks, I'll stick with cash in hand. Cash in hand is an investment. It's not the same thing. That's the tough thing about crypto. Is like, I look at it like stock. It's fluctuating in value. So if you buy it for $1 today, it's going to be something different tomorrow. If you take $1 and you put it in your pocket, when you go to sleep and you wake up the next day, that's still only $1 in your pocket. That's the difference. But some people look at crypto as currency, right? Because it's cryptocurrency. And so then you're thinking about it like it's money to spend. And you can spend it like that, but I always think of it as, like I said, like an investment, like stock, because it's worth more, at that point. Like, if you ever hear the story about Bitcoin, there's a really popular story that everybody has heard since Bitcoin came out, because Bitcoin was the first crypto. When Bitcoin first came out, nobody wanted to be a part of it. And there's this famous story where a pizza guy delivered pizza to the people who either invented Bitcoin or big investors of Bitcoin or something like that. And they offered the pizza guy, hey, can we tip you in Bitcoin? And he was like, yeah. And at the time, Bitcoin was like worthless. It was worth pennies. It wasn't worth shit. And so they gave him like 25 tokens or something, like what would be considered a lot today. Gave him a bunch of crypto tokens, right? Like digitally paid him. And they say that the amount that he made being tipped for that pizza, if he held on to that crypto and had it today, which is like 15 or 20 years later, he'd be like a multi-millionaire just from that tip because of how much it's gone up in value as an investment. And that's why I look at it that way, because if you look at it like money, well, then you're going to blow it. But tomorrow it could be worth twice as much as you used it to pay for, right? Like I'm saying, like if you gave somebody $1, it's just $1. But because it's crypto, that dollar could be $200 tomorrow in value. And that's why it's worth holding on to versus spending it like currency. Again, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just telling you what I think and how I perceive it. But yeah, that's how I think about crypto, is like an investment, like stock, like that, because it's a fluctuating in value. So the goal, obviously, is to buy it for pennies or doll hairs and then hold on to it until it's worth thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or something like that. You know, obviously that's the goal. But anyways, just thinking out loud. What's up, TBD? Happy freedom to you. So, Mana, happy freedom to you. It's a BB12. Happy freedom. High leverage trading. I don't know. I don't know the terms. I'm not that into it. I wish I was. I don't have enough money to be that into it. What's up, Dirtbike Freedom? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Kittenhead? Happy freedom to you. How come you're not on Rumble? We are on Rumble. We are currently live on jeffmaclive.com, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and X. Man, an ambulance? Why? How do I say it weird? Do I say ambulance weird? What's up, JC? Happy freedom to you. Ambulance. Now you're making me self-conscious. BB12, the Genius Act is mainly about stablecoins and ushering in the digital dollar. Yeah. And I'm not even sure exactly what all it's going to affect, because there's so many altcoins out there. But they're, like I said, the more time it goes on, the more regulations they're going to put up. What's up, Beck Frank? Happy freedom to you. Ramsey had to cash out on my crypto when my wife left. Haven't had the money to get back in. Yeah. Life definitely happens. It's unfortunate. Appeal to Evan, Bitcoin's at 118 right now. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. I remember when it hit 50 and everybody was making a big deal. I remember when everybody said it was going to go away. And now it's been decades. Relax, the value changes every day. Yeah. Well, it changes like every moment, really. But yeah, every day it has a different value. Sly Dog, the dollar can be devalued due to inflation and lose value overnight. It can, but it's not the same thing. Like, chances are, if I go to Walmart next week versus today, that dollar in my pocket will be spent as a dollar. Now, in value overall, it could change and whatever, but crypto has a quicker change than just the dollar in your pocket. Sly Dog. Oh, it's a $25,000 minimum for day trading? Well, we were close. Plasquack, got to take a week-long test to prove that you can trade in stock, or what do you mean for like just strategy? Ambulam, Major. I don't know if I say it weird or not. I don't know why Mana said that. Major no commie currency from me? Yeah. Snooks, please don't change the way you talk. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. It's the only way I know how to talk. I don't know that much Korean yet. Anyways, moving forward, like I said, President Trump signs first major federal cryptocurrency bill into law. This happened earlier today. They're going to give us some details on what to expect from the bill. All right, hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommieTube, and let's get into this.
Win for President Trump, something he campaigned on, as you referenced, and also a big milestone for this industry that's been lobbying hard for this. So this really focuses on something called stable coins. So these are more stable cryptocurrencies, hence its name, that are tied to a stable asset like the US dollar. So this bill would outline regulations that would make stable coins more accessible and more mainstream. The way it does that is it would make it easier for banks and other entities to issue these stable coins. The point here is that it would increase public trust and boost the industry overall. But Kira, this is something that's going to take time. Once President Trump, as he has just done, signs this into law, federal regulators then have 6 months to come up with the specific regulations. But as you can see up on the screen right next to me, the president, he is surrounded by some key crypto advocates, leaders in the industry. They are incredibly happy about this. Yeah, well, first of all, remember President Trump, he once called himself a crypto skeptic, but then on the campaign trail, he vowed to make America the crypto capital of the world. And him and his family, they have got multiple crypto ventures. They are fully immersed in this industry, and that includes a Trump meme coin. It includes a Bitcoin mining firm and a crypto reserve. There's also a company that the Trump family owns a 60% stake in. That's World Liberty Financial. That's a crypto venture that actually launched its own stable coin in the spring. Democrats have pointed out that a bill like this could directly benefit President Trump and his family. Now, the White House insists that there's no conflict of interest here because the president's assets are held in a trust that's managed by the president's children, Kira.
Okay, like I said, it's from earlier today. We got 6 months to wait to see what these regulations are going to look like. I don't know. I'm not really worried about it. I'm more interested to see if people invest more into the cryptocurrency because they're going to trust it, and there's people who follow Trump no matter what he does, so him being involved in crypto and putting spotlight on crypto will make those people invest in crypto, which will make it worth more overall. So just excited to see what happens next. Next up, we got now Mike Pence wants the Epstein files. It's another Democrat. It's another day with another Democrat asking for the Epstein files. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Pam Bondi supposedly had filed paperwork about some sort of files being released. Let me see. I bookmarked the post so I could go back to it. Let me find it really quick. It's very short. Come on now. Damn. Clicked the wrong button. That's how it goes. Pam Bondi posted on X, President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. So that's supposed to happen. That post is like 20 hours old. So that means today they should have been filing that paperwork, but there's been no update on that. I was checking her profile and stuff before I went live. She hasn't updated anything about that. So we'll see what comes out next. But either way, we're going to hop in the chat really quick before getting into that next video. Patriot Dad. Bacon wrap, marinated chicken breast, bacon cheddar, brats, potato skins, and some kind of veggies. Sounds fantastic, Patriot Dad. Appeal to Evan. Mike Pence wants the Epstein list. Wow. Wonder if he's on it. Well, that's what I keep thinking is weird too, is all these people that I assume are on the list are asking for the list to come out. And so, I don't know. Again, I don't really think there's actually a list of clients, but I think there's proof that details that Epstein and Maxwell were not the only people on the island. They were not the only people doing bad stuff behind closed doors and stuff like that. Somebody knows who was there, and there's got to be evidence of those people who visited, maybe not every single one of them, but somebody else doing bad things. And I think that's what everybody wants to know, is who was there, who was doing what, and why aren't they in jail yet? ACO, if it was going to boom, it would be with Trump. No other president has ever supported crypto. Yeah, and President Trump is the first president to use crypto. When he was, I think it was right after inauguration or something like that. It was like really, I want to say it was. I don't know. For some reason, I want to say it was before, but I don't think so. I think it was right after inauguration. He was at some party or something and spent like Bitcoin or something as money, did a transaction, some public event he was at. I want to say it was at Mar-a-Lago or something. So he's the first president to make a crypto transaction or something like that. And every time he does this stuff, it creates more attention towards crypto, and it makes people trust it more and want to invest in it more. It's pretty good, Zero. It's a good way to be. Keep investing. Dennis, anything the government puts its hands into turns to shit. Yeah. It's because they regulate it and put walls around it so we can't have access to it like they do. Like they all do that insider trading and nobody does anything about it. Everybody knows about it. They all joke about Nancy Pelosi doing insider trading. They shouldn't be joking about it. They should be indicting her. They should be arresting her, you know, but that's how it goes. Relax. No government coins. Yeah. Well, and they're talking about having like a stockpile of crypto because they have crypto from raids or something like that, like busting criminal crypto. Criminals that were using crypto while committing crime, so it makes it like illegal doll hairs, and they have a stockpile of it, and they're trying to create their own kind of like Fort Knox for it. What's up, Box Goblin? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Meta? Happy freedom to you. Are you all right? Why don't you chill out? Good Lord, he's over here like grunting and stuff. He's having bad dreams. What's up, Annette? Happy freedom. Bought a few Bitcoins in 2009. I still have them. People try to rip you off when you try to cash in. Yeah, it depends because you got to pay transaction fees. And what a lot of people don't realize is pretty much half of whatever you got when you cash out, that's going to go right to Uncle Sam because you got to pay capital gains tax on it or whatever. It's like if you sell cars for a living and stuff, or even houses, it has its own tax bracket. So if you had crypto and you spent $200 on it as your initial investment, and then you made $50K, well, you're going to give the government $25,000 in taxes after you cash out. Like you cash out at $50K, so now you got $50,000 in your portfolio. About $25,000 you're going to have to pay into taxes, minus the $200 for the initial investment, because that's not considered profit. That's just what you invested in it. So you're paying $24,800 to the government, and you're pocketing $25,000, and it only costs you $200. But a lot of people don't realize that. So they're like, oh, I got $50K, I'm gonna cash out, and I'm gonna go buy a house. Or well, you can't buy a house with $50K anymore. But either way, they're I'm gonna put a down payment on a house, and the next thing you know, it's tax season. You need to pay in. You owe $25K, and you're like, I don't have $25K. What the fuck? Yeah, and that's how you don't know until it's tax season, and they're expecting that money out of you. And a lot of people think that crypto is like tax free, but it's not. Any cash you make over like $600, the federal government is expecting you to pay tax on that. And I'm sure there's loopholes and whatever, but I always try to do the right thing. any way I can, because I'd rather not be assassinated by Hillary Clinton or any other piece of shit that works for the government, and that's just, that's my priorities. Appeal to heaven, no more taxes. This is the last year. What do you mean, like the no tax on tips and all that? There's limitations to it. We covered it right after they passed the big, beautiful bill. Tony Rez, hooligans don't have to pay capital gains tax. I know, that's why I keep telling them. They don't hear me. Shroomy shit used to be tax-free. Well, that's like digital transaction apps like Cash App and stuff like that. A lot of people did not pay taxes on money they made from Cash App or money they made on PayPal or Stripe or whatever, because there wasn't specific tax laws for it, and so they weren't paying tax. But again, there's a federal law that if you make more than like $600, you need to pay taxes. That means any way that you make it. So although there wasn't specific laws on taking your PayPal money or your Cash App money and paying taxes on it, there's a default law that if you make money, you should pay taxes on it. And so a lot of people didn't, and some people got away with it. But the other thing is the IRS is 3 years behind. So like, say you didn't pay tax on what you made on Cash App last year, and when you did your taxes, nobody said anything, and so you feel like you got away with it. Well, in 2 more years, you're going to get a notice in the fucking mail saying, hey, we found out that you made this money 3 years ago and you didn't pay anything on it. You owe us this much, and now there's fines, and now there's possibility of prison time and all this other stupid shit. And so I always have to worry about that stuff. And when I go in to deal with my taxes and stuff, we had that conversation. He's like, well, you don't have to, because there's no law for this specifically. But if they decide to change their mind and find out that you made this money and you didn't pay, you're going to be fucked. And so I just pay it. And now there's laws for it. And I've seen people get in trouble for it and stuff and be fined for it. So I always just try to do the right thing. I don't try and cut corners. I just don't do that. I got bad luck. So I just pay in when I'm supposed to. And that's that. But I'm always worried about being in trouble, because I don't like trouble. I don't like problems. Life is hard enough. And so I'm worried about problems. I figure out what problems are out there, and I do what I got to do so I can avoid those problems. And that's just how I do it. And I know most people don't behave like that. So there's no need to convince me to do otherwise. I'm not going to listen. I'm hard-headed like that. I prefer to do the right thing. But everybody else who gets away with shit, more power to you. Russell, pasties are now tax-free? That's right. Free tits. Tax-free tits. Done from what I read, taxes are voluntary. No. It just depends on what you're reading. Like I said, there's federal law. If you make more than $600, any way you get it, you're supposed to start paying taxes at that point. But everybody's got their own responsibilities. What's up, Backyard Renegade? Happy Freedom. Backyard Renegade. I'm almost 70 years old, and ever since I was a little kid, I've known that income is income, and income is taxable. Yeah. What's up, Abigail? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Michael? Happy Freedom to you. I'll check it out, Michael. Thank you for letting me know. God rides a Harley. I'm a hooligan. My bike only has one mirror. As long as you're staying safe out there, that's all that matters. What's up, Too Real? Happy Freedom. What are you talking about, Too Real? Oh, yeah. Well, we're still all figuring out the details of the big, beautiful bill. But yeah, there's limitations on it. I don't think crypto was involved in the big, beautiful bill. And most of us will be able to benefit for the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It depends on how much you make. And most people make less than the threshold. I can't remember exactly what the threshold is, but I remember it being a pretty high number. And like no tax on tips was like the first $25,000 in tips you make in the year is a tax write-off. Any tips you make after $25,000 is you got to pay taxes on it. I can't remember exactly the overtime though. It's so much money in overtime that you can deduct, but it's if overall you make less than like 100,000 or something like that. Now, though, I'm just trying to go off my memory here. Definitely look into it, right, if you're concerned about that. But it's all still very new. So the information you get, it may change a little bit. It's not locked in yet. I'm sure all the tax people are trying to figure it out right now. But I believe it is for this year, too. Like, this year is included. So anything you're making in 2025, as far as tips and overtime, you may be able to write that stuff off. Obviously, talk to your tax guy about it and all of that, because it is situational. There is limitations to it. But I think most of us would be able to benefit from that. What's up, Heather Lynn? Happy Freedom to you. Bobby, I'm in upper Cali, became a mountain dude. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's probably less people to deal with out there. Relax. 25,000. I don't think it's 2,500. It's 25,000. Done. I believe the cutoff is 100,000. That's what I was thinking. Did I say 2,500? It's like the first 25,000 in tips. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's 25,000. It's a lot. It's a number I've never heard of waitresses making. Not here in these little towns that, where I live. What's up, Ron J? Happy Freedom. All right, hooligans, we're gonna move forward here. Like I said, Mike Pence now wants the Epstein files, and as I mentioned, we know that Pam Bondi had filed some paperwork to try and release some documents related to the Epstein shit. But it seems like every day there's a new Democrat begging for the Epstein files, and we've just been kind of adding that onto the schedule. We did Hakeem Jeffries. Yesterday was Jamie Ratsak's, and today we got Mike Pence. Everybody type trader in the chat. Let's see. Get this pulled up really quick. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, that our friend Larry is in need of our help here. Larry needs a kidney transplant. So I put together some details and links that he had given to me, as well as Larry's story, all on a web page here on the website. You do not have to have a membership to see it or anything like that. But if you are willing and have the opportunity to help Larry in any kind of way, please click this link and go read all of his details, because our friend Larry could really use our help. All right, getting back into the news here. Like I said, Mike Pence says he wants the Epstein files. I believe he was there, but it's just my thoughts. I don't have evidence of that. This is just my opinion. Anyways, hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
Said the Jeffrey Epstein matter is a hoax. Last week, his Justice Department said there were more than 1,000 victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Last summer, Trump said he was open to declassifying all the relevant files and the Epstein client list, and that his suicide looks suspicious. How can all those things be true and it be a hoax? I don't understand where things stand with all this.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files regarding Jeffrey Epstein's investigation and prosecution. It's important that we protect the names of the victims. They should be excluded from any disclosure. But whether or not the facts justify charges, I think that anyone who participated or was associated with this despicable man ought to be held up to public scrutiny.
One of the most aggressive investigative reporters in our country, Julie K. Brown, was on my show last night, and she said when the Justice Department last week said 1,000 victims, she said that was a higher number than she was familiar with, and indicated to her that there have to be accomplices that some of the victims have named that worked with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And she said, shouldn't there be some inquiry into whether or not those people should be exposed to criminal prosecution? Well, do you agree with that?
I just think we ought to get the facts to the American people. I mean, I've always believed in transparency.
And when the president says it's all a hoax, what is he talking about?
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's prosecution began during the Bush administration. Continued.
He's blaming it on Democrats.
The Obama years.
It's not a hoax.
I know of no reason why this administration, once the victims' names are protected, should not release all the files on Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so like I said, Mike Pence claiming he wants the Epstein files released. It'd be really interesting once we get more information, because it sounds like we're going to. I just don't know if we're going to get accountability, Because as much as everybody's talking about, oh, we want the files released, blah, 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 we don't care about documents. We care about people going to prison. We want to see who was there, who's doing what, and why they're not in prison yet, and that's it. And I think they're starting to move into a territory where they're like, hey, just give the public documents, that's all they want. Because I think they're misunderstanding what the public is actually asking for. And I think they're intentionally misunderstanding the situation. So that's why it sounds like they're going to get us some transcripts, and that's going to satisfy our cravings for accountability, but it's not. Until people go to prison, things are not going to change. And I think everybody knows that at this point. Either way, next up, we got the last little bit of the news. This is Crowds on Demand always works on the side of common sense, says its founder. This is an interview with the CEO of Crowds on Demand. Now, we always talk about Crowds on Demand when we're covering the protests and stuff like that. And he talks about how he gets paid to recruit people. He's the CEO of Crowds on Demand, to recruit people not just for left-wing events, but for right-wing events too, but makes claims that he doesn't hire Antifa or radicals of either side, that there's other recruiters out there doing that. Now, he's intentionally being vague, and he's kind of he's got that used car salesman kind of vibe to him. I personally think he should be indicted to reveal his contacts, but that's just my thoughts. But either way, that's coming up next. First, we're gonna hop in the chat, see what your hooligans think about Mike Pence claiming he wants the Epstein files to be released. I'm on the fence with Pence. Without him, we'd not know all the DS stuff we know now. What's the DS stuff? Did he sacrifice his reputation to expose the DS? I don't know what DS is. I just know that he could have knocked down the certification for the 2020 election, and it would have triggered an audit, and he didn't. He certified the election, and he should have turned it down. He should have. That was why everybody was saying he was a traitor. Is because he was in the chair. He could have said, no, we're not certifying the election. We need to do audits and whatever, because they were making claims that the election was not fair and square. It wasn't airtight. There was irregularities. And he could have said, because of the irregularities, we need to do an audit and we can't certify the election. But instead, he certified the election, and the pedophiles handed him a gold coin and welcomed him into the club. And we all watched it live after like 17 hours of this shit. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have mixed feelings about Pence, but a lot of people just see him as a traitor at this point. He's wrote off. Anytime he shows up on stage, he gets booed. Now, maybe that's died down since 2020, right? It's 2025 now. But for a long time, if he stepped on stage, he was getting booed out. Oh, I see what you're saying, Zero. Yeah. Russell, Pence is a rhino. Yeah. I agree. What's up, Cass? Happy Freedom. What's up, B. Hendricks? Happy Freedom to you. Done. I want the names released associated with the island. Absolutely. Pumpkin, I can't forget Pence. Nope. Appeal to heaven. I'd like to see arrests, but they ain't showing any. Yeah, it's true. What's up, my feed? Happy Freedom. Let them eat their own. Absolutely. What's up, Justin Sane? Happy Freedom to you. Appeal to heaven. Gift is a loophole, so you don't get fucked by the government. There is still enough of the money. What are you saying? Appeal to heaven. Sell it. Let me see. Sell it. Get the cash for the car before you. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, gifting a vehicle or cash. There is limitations with that. Like, if you gift someone cash, you can only gift them like $20,000 or something like that. As soon as you hit that threshold, they have to start paying tax on it. And I want to say cars are around that too. If you have a car that's worth more than $20,000 and you say it's a gift, the government's still going to make you pay tax on it. They have a limitation. Plus, I think if you gift a car, it has to be to a family member, and that might depend on what state you're in. But I think that's how it is here. Because I want to say I gifted a car to WMM, and he only had to pay like $1 because he's my cousin. But there is limitations on it. The government doesn't let you get away with shit unless you work for the government. That's the only way you get to get away with shit. Plastic Whack flies land on shit? Yeah. Immediately the images of Mike Pence with the fly on him. Oh my god, Zero's posting it in the chat. Yeah. Meta all the files now. It's very simple. I agree. What's up, Susan? Happy Freedom. Susan, he's trying to get in our good graces? Yeah, I think so. Pence has zero chance of becoming president. I'm sure somebody would vote for him, but he's not getting the popular vote. There's just no way. Pence is nobody. And everybody forgot he was caught with classified documents at his house too. They swept that under the rug so fucking quick. They found out Biden had classified documents, and then like a week later they found out that Pence had classified documents, and then they found out that Trump had classified documents, and then they made a huge deal about that even though he was president when he brought the documents home. Pence has never been president, and he had classified documents. They just let it go. They said the old man Walter, they said Biden was unfit to stand trial, and that's why they just stopped worrying about the classified documents. What about Pence? Pence is fit to stand trial, I would assume. How come he never had to answer for that shit? They just stopped talking about it. Nothing happened. They found it. They were like, well, he only had 2 pages. Oh, well. Like, how come there was no accountability for that, you know? Agent O, cars taxed on value at registration no matter what you pay. That might be state specific, because here if you pay $6,000 for a car and you write down $6,000 on the title, you go to transfer it in your name, that's what you're paying tax off of. If it's a gift and you gift it to a family member and you write $1, that's what you paid was $1, then they're going to tax you on that $1, not on the value of the car. Or is that what you're saying? Debbie, Pence hurt little boys? I would not be surprised by that at all. Heather Lynn, it seems with every situation that we need to expose for random players come out and support it or don't support it. It's a game that continues on and on. Where's our retribution? Yeah. Well, we need accountability and we don't ever get it. That's the thing. We watch people break the law and then basically they just stop talking about it and those people get to continue walking free. But the moment we break the law in any kind of way, we're arrested that day. And they're not nice about it. They'll put you right on your head and arrest you. And then they lock you in a concrete room where you got to piss and shit and shower in front of everybody. And then when you turn on the TV, you got to hear about the poor illegals and their air conditioning and all this shit. It's stupid. It's so stupid because obviously we're not treated the same, you know? And that's what irritates me when people are like, well, you got to be patient. Well, you got to be patient. Nobody's patient when it's time for me to go to jail. And it makes me feel weird when people who are not elites, right? People that are the same as me, they're the same as I live down here with the rest of you, we the people, are defending people on Capitol Hill not being in jail by saying, well, you need to be patient. Well, they're not patient about arresting us, and you shouldn't defend them by saying that. They should be in prison. That's how it goes. When you are suspected of a crime, that's when you go to jail. You don't go to jail after they figure it all out. As soon as you are suspected of a crime, you become incarcerated. They figure their shit out. You start going to court. That's how it goes. They be building these cases for years. And you're like, why are these people not in prison? And then you got people who are just like all the rest of us going, well, you got to be patient. No, the fuck you don't. That's not how justice works. Suspicious of a crime, you go to fucking jail. We think they're, committing a crime. They are talking on TV about these people committing a crime, like Pence, right? suspected of being in possession of classified documents. Proof is they had the documents. Put him in fucking prison, then take him to court. But that's not what they did, because that's never what they do. And that's why people should be pissed off. But unless you've gone to jail, you don't know shit about shit when it comes to that. You don't know shit about court. You don't know shit about any of that stuff. And they know that. And so they can sit there and play on your feelings and, well, it takes time. You've seen CSI. You know how it works. Blah, blah. And it's like, they play you. They are fucking playing you. Because it's like, if I'm so serious. I wish we could test this out just to prove it to you guys. You just literally call 911 and point a finger at your neighbor and say, I swear to God, I heard them shoot a gun inside their house. The police are going to show up, and if they have guns in their house, chances are they're an American, they're going to fucking jail, even though you made the whole thing up. You made the whole thing up. They're going to jail because there's suspicion of a crime. And for some reason, politicians are above that, and people who are not politicians defend that. And that shit doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Anyways, moving forward here, like I said, Crowds on Demand always works on the side of common sense, says the founder. The CEO has come to the conclusion that all of us are blaming him for the protesters that come out smelling like shit and burn stuff down in the streets. And so now he's doing some PR work here, trying to separate himself from Antifa and all of that, because we all assume they're all tied together. He's going to make a lot of crazy claims. He's going to be very suspicious this entire time. He has the voice of a cartoon character and the mentality of a used car salesman. And like I said, I believe he should be indicted to expose his contacts that are trying to pay him up to $20 million to recruit for these riots and stuff. But that's just my opinion. Hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Joining us now, the founder and CEO of the firm Crowds on Demand, Adam Swart. It's a company that specializes in providing crowds at events, including protests. Adam, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much. We never heard of a company like yours. Thanks for joining us tonight. You say you turned down a $20 million offer to recruit and pay protesters against Trump. What proof can you show our viewers that that's really happened, and who made the offer?
Well, first of all, the reason why I turned it down is the same reason that Tom Hanks or George Clooney would turn down appearing in a Marvel superhero movie. It's just they don't want to attach their name to something that ultimately is not going to be successful. Unfortunately, Crowds on Demand, we've been around for 13 years now. We're the largest protest company in the country. We did not feel that this particular day of action was going to be impactful for the cause that they seek to espouse. So we unfortunately had to decline.
So what proof that they tried to pay you? Who exactly is paying you to recruit protesters against Trump? What are their names?
Well, sure. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be in business for 13 years if I told people, everyone who came to us with a cause that I disagreed with or that I didn't think was going to be effective. So obviously, I would have to politely decline to reveal the information about who is contacting us.
Is it a far-left billionaire? Is it a far-left billionaire or nonprofit? Are they recognizable Democrat names?
Well, sure. I mean, I think it would be someone that people would recognize as being well-heeled interests. I would leave it at that.
Is it George Soros's group?
Well, look, here's my sense on Soros. A lot of people are working for Soros who don't even know they're working for Soros, because same with a lot of other billionaires, because what they have is what's called a Russian doll influence network. So that's little dolls that fold into bigger dolls. So you could be working with a lot of billionaires, either conservative or liberal, without even knowing it, because they have a network of advocacy groups, foundations, C4s, and corporations.
So you've worked with them. You've worked with these groups in the past. Is that what you're saying?
Well, of course. I mean, I don't want to name specific names, but of course we work on a number of causes, both liberal and conservative, but always on the side of common sense.
Okay, to pay, so you've worked with, so let me get this straight. You have been paid by far left groups to recruit protesters to go up against the Trump administration. Is that right?
Personally, we don't like to work with far anything. We don't like to do far left, and we don't like
are they left wing?
Right.
Are they left wing groups that you've worked with to recruit for their demonstrations and protests against Trump?
Well, as I said, we declined this particular matter because we frankly felt that it wasn't going to be effective. Now,
It sounds
what
like
I
it
say,
was. Okay.
now, what I would say here, Elizabeth, is that I don't necessarily decline the idea of protests in general that might counter the Trump administration, but it has to be done respectfully, it has to be done with nuance, and it has to be done with persuasion.
Wait, isn't this kind of fishy? Isn't this kind of sketchy to pay people to protest and recruit people to protest against any White House because it looks fake and phony? America has been seeing these protests nationwide. Now people are going to say this is just astroturf, phony stuff, Adam.
Well, Elizabeth, I would have to respectfully disagree with you because at Crowds on Demand, and I can only speak for us, we only hire people who are actually passionate about the causes.
Who do you hire? Who are these people?
These are activists who are interested in the cause they espouse. So, by the way, if it's a conservative cause, we have conservative activists, and many conservative
let me back up.
activists really.
I hear what you're saying. Are you hiring and recruiting Antifa rioters and protesters?
Absolutely
Is that who they are?
not.
You're
That's
not?
illegal. Okay. We do not engage in any form of illegal activity, right? So that includes illegal protests, which I don't even consider.
Have you heard of people who do? Have you heard of people who do hire, who do pay Antifa?
Of course, there are people who do that, and they're people you've probably never heard of because they're in the shadows, right? So the people that you should direct your vitriol on are not people like me who are out there running a publicity firm that does creative, satirical, interesting kind of displays. It's people who operate in the shadows.
Adam, I'm so sorry you feel like this is vitriolic. We're just trying to get to the bottom of what is a surprising paid to protest movement and push here. So is George Soros's group, again, are they involved in paying Antifa? Have you heard that?
Well, look, I don't want to speculate on who may or may not, but I certainly believe that many of the violent rioters are being compensated. How do we know? Number one, tactical gear. There have been number of videos that have shown tactical gear. By the way, that's not cheap, being distributed on the streets of Los Angeles. There are professional signs. There are buses. There are legal services provided at no charge when people do break the law and are arrested, right? These things are not free, so somebody is funding it. So it would be very irresponsible for me to name specific names without evidence, though I won't do that on your program. But what I will say is there are interests, and it's important that people follow the money because what a lot of these very well-heeled interests, including foreign countries, do is they try to create distance and plausible deniability between themselves and the person throwing the Molotov cocktail, the person breaking the windows, and the person obstructing law enforcement. And Crowds on Demand does not associate with any of those.
Right. Okay.
It wouldn't behoove me as a business person, even if I had no moral qualms at all with it. It wouldn't behoove me as a business person to take on those.
How do you find these people to recruit them? Who are they?
Well, Crowds on Demand has been in business for 13 years, so we have a large network of people across the political spectrum and across this country who are passionate about different subjects, right? So we know who they are, and in some cases we'll reach out to people. For example, if we were doing an environmental display, we'd reach out to environmental groups. If it was a pro-business group, we have a lot of people who are kind of anti-government, kind of anti-tax type activists there, right? So all kinds of people across the country want to have their voices heard, but unfortunately, because it's so expensive in this country with inflation, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to have their voices heard unless they're compensated to do that, and Crowds on Demand facilitates that.
Got it. Adam Schwartz, thanks for joining us from Crowds on Demand. Appreciate you so much.
Okay, so like I said, he's kind of a sleazeball. He's kind of a sleazeball. He's the CEO of Crowds on Demand. He sounds like a cartoon character. And like I said, I believe he should be indicted to reveal his contacts, since he has people hitting him up offering $20 million to recruit radicals for these events and stuff like that. He's making claims that he doesn't just recruit people for left-wing events, but he also recruits people for right-wing events, which seems weird. It seems weird because a lot of right-wing events seem pretty organic, compared to left-wing events based on the gear they get, the things they say, crowd participation, stuff like that. But if you think back in 2020, when you would see right-wing events, there would always be fire starters. You'd see crowds of people waving flags and sometimes reading the gospel or singing songs and stuff like that. It's the left-wing people who usually do all the chanting. But there would be eventually somebody who would throw a brick and break a window or kick a door in or do something like that to see if the crowd would participate as well. And so it makes me wonder, are those people, the crowd on demand people, the ones that we always refer to as fire starters? And a lot of times that stuff wasn't successful, but man, it was successful during J6 when those people breached the building, and then everybody else just kind of trickled in because they didn't know what else to do. And once they got inside, they didn't know what to do. They just stood around. You know, of course, the news and the J6 committee and everybody demonized what happened that day. We covered the entire thing, and lots of events like that, you know, prior. We covered MAGA Million marches and stuff. Nobody even talks about that stuff anymore. It's like it never happened. We were covering MAGA Million marches in D.C. like once a month for a long time, but they don't even talk about that stuff. Either way, I think Crowds on Demand does have a part to play in all of this, although he's, again, trying to separate himself from that. Apparently, he found out how we feel about his brand, where we're saying, you know, these random riots and protests that happen throughout the year are tied to, you know, these kind of people. You also hear about Craigslist listings, you know, offering to pay protesters to go and be crisis actors and stuff like that. Even hearing about government training camps to train people to be crisis actors. But it all ties back to protesters acting like shitheads without really being prompted to be that way. You know, it's like unnecessary outrage happening. And this person, the CEO of Crowds on Demand, he's trying to separate himself from that theory, although I believe he participates in it. The fact that he says that he knows of other groups that do recruit radicals, somebody should make him put those contacts up, because if those people are assaulting federal workers and stuff like that, then that's a crime. That means that he has information that could solve the crime. So therefore, he could be indicted as a witness or even involvement in the crime being committed, and therefore have to provide information of who tried to contact him to recruit radicals, or who does he know that are recruiters that recruit radicals for other groups and publicity, businesses like what he refers to himself as. Either way, that is the last little bit of the news. We're going to be getting into the fun stuff. We're going to open today's door of the Advent Calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. And we got our two funny videos of the day. First one's titled, "You Gotta Tenderize the Kitty Meat Before You Cook It." And then our official funny video of the day is titled, "Don't Fall Asleep First." All of that's coming up next. But first, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think of the CEO of Crowds on Demand. Zero. Yeah, they advertise for mass casualty events, practice for medics, firemen, police. Yeah. What's up, guess happy freedom to you. Guess I could start a business called Midgets for Money if this is legal. Yeah, it's legal. I don't know what you're gonna do with all those midgets, but yeah. Russell, how do you even get into that business? Marketing. That's how. Publicity. It's all of that. That's all the same kind of world. Raising awareness. Zero, he knows. Follow the money. Yeah, absolutely. Guess I'm wondering if he recruited the girls for Epstein in the shadows. Could be connected to that. Thank you so much, Guessum, for that $10 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Guessum. Thank you so much for the support. It says ICE tip line 866 DHS to ICE. That's right. Thank you, Guessum. Fresca bean, drones can patrol from way up and see via the heat cameras and cameras, right? Like 100 miles. I don't know. I just got back here, missed 30 minutes. Yeah, and they were talking about deploying drones on the border and all of that, just to try and help with, with having so many people on the ground. You could have less people on the ground if they start using the technology. Hey, thank you for being here. Appeal to Heaven. Enjoy the rest of your night. Deb, he sounds like Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, he had like a cartoon character voice. Hey, thank you for being here, Rappy. Enjoy the rest of your night. MU, I don't think he has morals. No, I don't either. Pumpkin, he's not harmless. No, he seems like a sleazeball. Elder Zoomer, dude looks like he eats people. He is a little weird looking. Kevin Guy's a demon? Probably is. Seems very strange. What's up, Master Voltaire? Happy freedom. And if someone dies from the paid protesters, who is held liable? That's a good point. That is a good point. Because you would think if he's recruiting protesters and something bad happens, you would think he would be liable. Flukester, it's organizing. That makes it insurrection-y. Yeah, insurrection-y. I like that. You're right. Happy freedom to you, Flukester. What's up, Nick? What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom. What's up, Smith? Happy freedom to you. Smith, he's conspiring with other people to line his pockets. He's a rat. Yeah. Well, I mean, think about how easy that would be. He runs a business that recruits protesters. And he claims he doesn't recruit radicals. He only recruits slight left, slight right. But who's saying that he doesn't have a shadow business where his business partner does the recruiting for radicals? So he's like, no, we don't really have anybody. We don't have a position for your kind. But I can give you a phone number to somebody who recruits people like you and then just redirect him to his buddy or whatever. And those people are recruiting Antifa and stuff like that. It'd be that easy. What's up, Dog Grandma? Happy freedom to you. There are hardly any right-wing events compared to the left. Yeah, after J6, all the right-wing events stopped. There used to be 2A audits and First Amendment things. There used to be medical freedom rallies that would happen and stuff like that because of, the mandated vaccines and all that stuff we were going through. And then after J6 happened, that was it. Now you don't hardly see anything. It used to be just flag waving events where people would just show up and wave American flags just because it was fucking Saturday. And they don't do any of that anymore because of J6. Heather Lynn, the question is what does a protest accomplish? Well, a protest is supposed to raise awareness to something serious that's not getting enough attention. But protesting is turned into this like ticking time bomb. They'll send protesters in to create good trouble, as they call it, until they get tired and sunburned and hungry. And then they start attacking people and throwing piss bottles and burning shit down. And that's the thing, is it's not supposed to turn into that. It's supposed to be raising awareness, and that's it. It's not supposed to be violence and destruction of property and all this shit. You're supposed to be raising awareness for an event that you think needs a whole bunch of attention. No matter what that could be. It could be something the government's doing, something you're happening in your local area. You're just raising awareness to a problem that needs to be fixed that is not getting enough attention. But they're abusing what protesting is supposed to be. And I used to say this back in 2020, they're going to let these lefties protest to a point where they find a way to make protesting illegal. And when the government does that, then there will be real reasons to protest, and you won't even be able to protest because they allowed the lefties to go out there and cry wolf to a point where they made it illegal. Now, right now, it's our constitutional right to protest, but that doesn't mean they're not going to put special labels on it and limit you from being able to protest. Look at our Second Amendment, right? No, like, it shall not be infringed doesn't fucking matter when it comes to high capacity, magazines in California and bump stocks and it just every little fucking thing, right? Suppressors and whatever. They limit our Second Amendment, and that's pretty, it's written pretty boldly, shall not be infringed, and they still found ways to limit that right. So when it comes to protesting, they very well could say, okay, you can protest, but you can't do it while standing on the ground. You can only protest when you're not standing on the ground. Well, then what the fuck are you going to do? There's gravity. You have to stand on the ground. And that's how slick the government is. They'll just word some shit like that, and next thing you know, you still have your free speech, but you can't legally protest anymore. Now, thankfully, we haven't got to that point yet, but we did see a visit of it, I think it was earlier this year, if it wasn't the end of last year, where the protesters were letting go like big balloons and shit in front of an airport, and a plane had sucked one of the balloons in the engine or some shit like that. So they were saying that they were going to have to limit what's considered protesting because it started to become a threat to air traffic, and that is limitations towards protesting. Now, whatever they were doing to limit it wasn't going to affect the average protester because those people were doing some extra shit, but they were already trying to figure out ways to limit protesting, and it's because of these lefty shitheads that cry wolf every day because their poor little feelings hurt, Either way, read through a little bit more and we'll be getting into the fun stuff. Tommy Robinson posted a video of an illegal punching a guy with a baby in his arms, and everyone just jumped the illegal and kicked the crap out of him. Well, that's good, because normally they just stand around and pull their phones out. Totally care. Every peaceful protest seems to have a timer. Yeah, and it's not supposed to be that way. But it's like a trend. It's like just the way they're doing things right now. Kevin, did you hear about the biker gangs in UK beating up the illegals? No, I didn't even realize they had biker gangs in the UK. I've never seen anyone ride a motorcycle in the UK now that I think about it. Thank you for being here, Pumpkin. Much love to you. Oh, thank you for being here, Meta. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alright, hooligans. Like I said, we're going to move into the fun stuff. We're going to be opening today's door of the Advent Calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. And we got our 2 funny videos of the day. But before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Let's see what we get today. I just remembered I got to turn the volume back down because that last video was quiet. There we go. Let's see what Klaus gets today from the Advent Calendar. Today is day 8. Always going to get something special. This box is bigger than the others. Oh. Day 8. I don't even know where he's at. Meow meow. He's around here somewhere. What is this? He's got a Mega Mouse. It's got feathers, and this is made out of, I don't know what this is. The scratchy shit from the Scratch Tower. And it's got beads or something in it. Meow meow. Come here. Get your big booty up here. Come on. What's up here? Stop. You can't be that damn tired. Come on, big fatty. You want it or not? Come on, big fatty. He's like, but Dad, I can't jump up there. I weigh almost 20 pounds. What do you think? What do you think? It's got feathers too. Okay, well, I'll just put it up there. Oh, look, he couldn't even make it. Jeez, big fatty. He couldn't even get his whole body up there. Oh my God. Klaus really does need some Slim Fast. Jesus loves this. Anyways, thank you so much, Tori Wayne. Moving into our funny videos here. Good Lord. Big fatty. This is Klaus right here. Good God. This is titled, "You Gotta Tenderize That Kitty Meat Before You Cook It."
He is just a baby. He doesn't have any money.
That's Klaus Daniels. Alright, moving into our official funny video of the day. Let's get this pulled up. Oh yeah, now I remember. This is titled, "Don't Fall Asleep First."
Hey.
He was flabbergasted. Holy. Anyways, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick. We're going to drop it in all of the chats. We got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next, and then we'll be doing the raid. Klaus is laying on the floor with his new mouse. Alright, hooligans, there's a Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, we'd really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience a live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You have access to the forums, the arcade, and our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. And today is Friday, which means that we're going to be doing the voice chat over on the website. So if you get yourself a paid membership over on jeffmaclive.com, you can join us in the voice chat. It is a lot of fun. We're always researching things and watching videos and laughing and hearing outrageous stories that are very entertaining and all kinds of stuff. So, like I said, get yourself a paid membership to jeffmaclive.com. You can join us in the voice chat later on today. Frags live. Wow, we might raid Rotella. I was thinking. We'll see if he's live. Zero, it's a Swiffer handle thingy. Yeah, he was getting tenderized there. Yeah, Zero. I mean, it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was when it started. I had to sit here for like 30 minutes because I couldn't even look at the screen because my head was killing me earlier. Crit Kiss. Did Klaus love his gems? Oh, yes. He does. His kitty treats. He does love them. Cholikir, the guy should have been zipping his pants after slapping him. I'm not convinced that the guy that slapped him even knows the guy in the car. I think he just saw his opportunity and took it. My feed, you need to get him a kitty treadmill. I know they got big cat wheels for them to run on, but all the reviews say that they're noisy, and I don't want to be that kind of upstairs neighbor. And so I don't know. He needs something because I don't let him run around the house. I don't let him do that because I don't want to disturb the neighbors, get complaints, and then get kicked out and have to go live from the Subaru with a cat living in the car. And I don't want any part of that. But he needs something. He needs something. Crick, his Klaus is planning a takeover every day. What's up, Thistlebeard? Happy freedom to you. Kevin, I'll check it out. Thank you for letting me know. Told the Klaus is building a mouse army. He is. He's big and fat and laying on the floor right now. I wish you could see him. He's just pudgy. That's a pudgy Klaus. Cricket Kiss, why are you just saying tallywhacker in the chat? Holy. Could you imagine President Trump said that? That's the presidential tallywhacker. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here, MU. Enjoy the rest of your day. Is there other cat wheels are noisy? Yeah. That's what I keep hearing, and I don't want noisy things. All right, hooligans. It looks like we're good to go. We're going to do the pledge really quick, and we got a raid coming up. Brain. Why is my brain not working? There we go. All right, hooligans. It is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we did the thing. We're going to read through really quick, but we got this raid going on. Let's see who's live. Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of people live. Cat Dog's live. Mrs. Ma'am is live. I think we need to do Rotella though. So I'm pretty sure it's due for a Rotella raid. He's playing running with the Bulls right now. Interesting. I think this is going to be a good raid. And remember, you hooligans, when you get over there, hit the like button. The first thing you do is hit the like button when you get there. That way they really benefit from our presence. You guys have been doing fantastic with these raids. Let's get this rolling.
Ending in a waterfall. And this is the street of the waterfall. You never know what you'll find when you come in.
Would you look at that, Mr. Mac with another raid? Mr. Mac! Mr. Mac with another raid, everybody. Can we get a ballyho in the chat for Mr. Mac, my friends? I was not expecting that tonight. Well, I don't expect it any fucking night. Mr. Mac, everybody. Wow. We're watching... Amen. Amen. You might like this, Mr. Mac. We're watching a freaking bullfighting documentary. Let's welcome some hooligans in.
This has got to be the freeze that you guys are always talking about.
Chris, nice to see you. Too old to care. Nice to see you. Dennis, welcome in. Ballyho. Nice to see you. Happy freedom, everybody. Happy freedom in Ballyho. Hair Juicer 3K. Dutton, welcome in. Mr. Mac, we're watching, we just had the running of the Bulls. You're right, Lone Wolf, the best is yet to come. Now that you hit that follow button, welcome in. We just had the running of the Bulls this last week, everybody. So whenever, during the whole week, whatever we come up with that we watch as we're watching politics.
The best is yet to come.
You're right, Dennis, the best is yet to come now that you hit that follow button. Thank you so much, Dennis. So throughout the whole week, we find out what we want to learn more about, what we might want to watch a documentary about. You're right, Valen. The best is yet to come now that you hit that follow button. Thank you so much. And then on Friday night, we all watch a documentary together. We call it Friday Night Date Night. And we just happen to have the running of the Bulls that happened this week. So you're right at the end of one, but we got another documentary coming up right after this about the same topic. We're on the streets, we're watching the things happen, and we're having a great goddamn time doing it. Mr. Mac, thank you so much for the raid, my friends. If you are a domer, and you might also happen to like to be a hooligan, I highly suggest that you follow Mr. Mac. Jeff Mac Live comes on before us, so it's perfect. It's actually pretty perfect. Hang out with Jeff Mac. Hang out with the Dome. Ballyho Jeff, thank you so much, my friend. Let's get back into learning about the running with the Bulls. Go to the lobby.
Rotella is so awesome. Such a cool guy. We're going to have to do like a collab stream or something someday. He's super cool. Either way, we're going to read through really quick, but we are wrapping this up. Like I said, if you get a membership, a paid membership for jeffmaclive.com, you can join us in the voice chat later today. I'm probably going to have to run and get some food really quick, but I will be in the voice chat in about an hour or so if you guys would like to join us. Like I tell you guys, it is a lot of fun. It's a little chaotic, a little bit, but it's fun. Nothing too crazy happens. The stories are usually the craziest, but we laugh the entire time. We're always learning stuff. We're constantly researching things, and it's always a good time every Friday in the voice chat. So definitely consider getting yourself a paid membership to jeffmaclive.com. That way you can join us in the voice chat. If we're lucky, Beck Frank's going to get to hear the poodle story today. That's kind of an initiation to getting in the website. We have our friend Hair Juicer tell us stories of his life, and they're wild, but there's something to hear. There's something to behold for sure. Either way, reading through the chat really quick, and we're wrapping her up. Russell never did a running with the Bulls. You got to do that. You've done just about everything else, Russell. Got all that world experience. Got to go run with the Bulls. Happy freedom to you, Glamour. She's probably over on Rotella now because everybody's rated out. Happy freedom to you, TJ, or T1. Happy freedom to you, T1. Meta, don't tease me. Why? I'm not trying to tease you. What's up, Outlaw Cowboy? Happy freedom to you. Guess some that is a scary thought. That's a different reason to run from the Bulls. Oh, I just totally... Damn, double whammy. I clicked the wrong button and then clicked the wrong button again and closed 2 different chats on accident. It'd be like that. It's that kind of day. Like with the woman who grabbed the bird and threw it out of the garage because just today's been enough. That's how I've been feeling. Either way, it looks like we're good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for Free Speech Saturday's Coffee with Hooligans. Because it's Free Speech Saturday, we will not be live on YouTube or Twitch, but we will be live on jeffmaclive.com, Rumble, Kick, and X. So definitely utilize that Linktree link in the description in order to make your way to a better platform tomorrow. And like I said, join Discord. It's free, and it is the best way to be notified every single time we go live. Don't wait for these goofy-ass platforms to maybe or maybe not send you a notification. You absolutely will get a notification if you join Discord. Discord's free. The hooligans are there. There's no reason not to join. Go do the thing. Either way, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you for helping me cover the news, and thank you for helping me make the news suck a little less. I really do appreciate all of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and if I don't see you tomorrow for Free Speech Saturday, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Go get yourself some good food. I'm going to try and do the same, but like I said, find your way to us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for Free Speech Saturdays, Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I really couldn't do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.